Remember, we went through two special cases. One of them was the difference of squares, which said that a plus b times a minus b is going to equal a squared minus b squared. And then we have also our perfect square trinomial. A plus or minus b quantity squared is going to be a squared. And depending on if it's a positive or a negative, I use one or the other. I don't use both. 2ab. And always the last sign is plus b squared. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this problem right here, when I multiply a times c, I get 324. That's a lot of factors. There is a little trick to this. If I see really big numbers like this, I'm clued into something. First, I look at the outer parts. This is really the same as 2s quantity squared, and this is really the same as 9 squared. Well, let's let a equal this and b equal this. A would equal 2s, b would equal 9, because this is a squared, this is b squared, a equals 2s, and b equals 9. Now, if the middle term is equal to 2 times a times b, I don't have to do all that work. Let's see what 2 times a times b is. 2 times a times b is equal to 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 9 is 36s. Wow, excellent. These match. My factor is a, 2s, and then b, 9, the whole quantity squared. And since this is negative, we use a negative. And that's really it. Or you can go through the whole complicated mess. I don't recommend it. If you see things that are really big, if the outside numbers are perfect squares, 4s squared is 2s quantity squared. 81 is 9 squared. Check the possibility. We took care of when n equals 4. We took care of when n equals 3. The last one, n equals 2. And that's where the difference of squares is. If I have a squared minus b squared, that's always going to equal a plus b times a minus b. Well, if a here is n and b here is 1, then I would have a is n squared minus 1 squared. Well, that's what I start with. I can factor this to n plus 1 times n minus 1. And I again don't have to go through everything. Notice it's called the difference of squares. Subtraction and difference mean the same thing. If I have the sum of squares, because that's the only other possibility, is I have the difference of squares or I have the sum of squares, this is not factorable in real numbers. It does factor into complex numbers, but we are not talking about factors in this course. Now, notice how nice that is. I don't have to do a lot of work. Is this the difference of squares? Well, is the first one a square? Yes, 8 times 8. And then minus 3z squared. This becomes 8 minus 3z times 8 plus 3z. And that's it. If you just recognize the squares, you don't have to do much more. That's all the work there is. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.